Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to your Scorpio new moon yoga class. My name is Natasha, also known as Nourish Natasha. Hello, welcome. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Again, my name is Natasha. I teach yoga classes for every new moon and full moon and other astrological or Wiccan pagan events, and also just yoga for all bodies. I am an accessible certified yoga teacher. I'm a trauma-informed certified yoga teacher. I'm a 500-hour registered yoga teacher, and I try to make yoga classes that are as accessible as possible for all bodies, all levels. And yeah, we tap in with little magic and witchcraft and astrology in there as well. We will be using some props for most of my classes, pretty much all my classes. I'm going to be cueing poses with props. We will be utilizing some blocks today. Now, if you don't have blocks, you can use books that are this general shape and size. And then we're going to be using a strap as well. So if you don't have a strap, you can use a towel or a blanket. But those are the things we're going to be using today. Now, I want you to make sure you have any props that you need for your practice nearby. So maybe you need bolster, blanket, pillow, whatever it is, I want you to have those with you. The most important thing about my classes is everything I say is an option, not an order. So remember to listen to your body and do what feels good for you and your body. So yeah, new moon in Scorpio. So we are in Scorpio season. I'm a Pisces, so I definitely, I like other water signs. I know Scorpio, I feel like gets a bad rep. I feel like Scorpio and Gemini are like the most hated zodiac signs, but I like Scorpio. So it's a Scorpio new moon. New moons are, as we know, about manifestation usually, and it just, with Scorpio season, it's almost like we're trying to manifest a transformation. Scorpio is about transformation. The card represented by Scorpio in tarot is the Death card, and I feel like people, we freak out, we pull the Death card, we're like, oh my god, but it's not a bad thing. It means death and rebirth, right? We have the death of something that doesn't serve us and the rebirth of something new. So that's what the Scorpio season is all about. That's what the Scorpio new moon is all about. I'm just going to read my notes here. We have to tap into, if you did my Halloween or my Samhain yoga class, we talked about our shadow self. Scorpio kind of rules the shadow self. It's that dark part of us that we kind of hide, or we kind of push it down and we try to silence it and just ignore it, but we have to tap into that energy. We need to kind of lean into our shadow self so we can see what needs to heal, what needs to be transformed. And so yes, while new moons are about manifesting, this is again about manifesting a rebirth, manifesting a new you, just manifesting a transformation. Again, using our shadow self and learning about our shadow self, and instead of running away, usually we like to, we see those dark parts of us and we like to turn around and run the other direction, just kind of ignore it. It's going to get bigger, right? It's going to get louder. We need to deal. We need to talk to that shadow self and be like, what's going on? So that's what we're going to be doing. What self do you hide from others? Manifesting a rebirth, a new you. Scorpio does rule the sacral chakra, so we're going to get deep into those hips today. And our sacral chakra is our chakra of emotions, of creativity, and especially this is where we store trauma. This is where we store our hurt. And most of the time, I won't say all the time, but most of the time, our shadow self comes from where we have been hurt. And if you imagine your pelvis, they call it a pelvic bowl, as an actual bowl, everything is inside that bowl. All of your emotions, your traumas, everything is like water inside that bowl. And so as we start to open up the hips, we open up that sacral chakra, that stuff starts to spill out. So that's when our emotions come up. But we need that. We need to kind of shake things up a little bit to get those stagnant, the stuff that we don't want anymore. We need to get it kind of moving, get it loose so we can let it go, so we can process through it. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. I think that's all I got. It is the night between November 4th and November 5th. Also, I wanted to mention, usually I do a tarot reading for every new moon and full moon. I won't be doing one for this new moon because I will be hosting my first yoga retreat in Sedona over the Scorpio new moon, so I just don't have the time to film as I will be in Sedona. I like to film the tarot readings as close as I can to the actual event so I can tap into that energy, but I will not be able to, so there will be no tarot reading. I know, I'm so sorry, but I'm filming this yoga class early, so you guys will have this, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna, this is a big deal for me. This is the first retreat I'm putting it together myself, hosting it. It's for my group coaching program clients, my clients in Nourish Your Life, but I'm hoping to maybe open that to other people like you lovelies on my YouTube channel, hopefully next year if this one goes well. This one will go well, we're going to manifest that. That's what we're manifesting. But yeah, use the new moon for manifesting. Use the new moon for, again, tapping into that shadow self to manifest a transformation. Now the affirmations I have for class today is I am coming into my highest self. So we have to work through that shadow self to get to our highest self, right? And I can love myself while I transform. I think this is a big thing that people think that, you know, if you want to change something about yourself, it means you don't love yourself. Now, I know this is usually taken in the context of like health and weight loss, and yes, it can be applied to that. But this is more so like you can still love yourself while you're transforming. You can still love yourself while trying to change something about yourself. It doesn't mean you hate the old self, or doesn't mean you hate the shadow self, because we can't hate our dark side. We all have one. It makes us human, but we can use it to transform. We can use it to pinpoint, okay, I need to work on this, this, and this. I'm still going to love myself. I'm not going to feel shame or guilt for any of these things, but I'm going to move on. I'm going to manifest this new self. I think that's it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We are going to get started on our backs. Now, I want you to bring your strap with you because we will be doing some strap stretches right at the beginning of class, and then we're going to repeat the stretches at the end of class and see how much we transformed, because that's what it's all about. And again, we're going to get deep into these hips. So, remembering, as always, to listen to your body throughout class and acknowledge and take variations you need and honor your body. Also bring your blocks with you because you might need those as well. So we're going to find our way to our backs. I want you to lower down gently and slowly and take your time. And then our starting poses are going to be our Supta Baddha Konasana, which is our reclined bound angle pose. So bringing your feet bottoms together to touch and opening at the knees. Now this is where your blocks can come in. If this feels kind of funky on your hips or funky on your knees, I want you to place those blocks underneath your knees to give you that extra support. Kind of hold you up a bit, take some of that pressure off those joints. And now, settling into your pose here, you can bring your hands to either side of you, palms facing down for some grounding energy, or palms facing up to receive, whatever feels right for you today. You can close your eyes if it feels comfortable, and I just want you to bring your awareness to your breath. I just want you to notice it, not changing anything about it just yet. Bringing yourself to this moment, to the present. You can visualize your breath as it goes in and out through your nose. It's a good technique to kind of just really bring you to this moment. Just picture it in your mind. And as you inhale here, I want you to expand the chest, expand the belly, take up space. And as you exhale, just release and sink deeper into this posture, sink deeper into the mat. And we're going to start to check in here. We're going to start to just take inventory of the mind, the body, the soul as we breathe. And I really want you to think about that shadow self. It might feel uncomfortable, but I want you to just think about the parts of you that are coming from your shadow self. Scorpio season likes to bring up a lot of jealousy, anger, a lot of kind of those quote-unquote negative emotions. But remember that these parts of us, the dark parts of us, this shadow self, is part of us. And we can't feel guilt or shame for having that side. It just makes us human. So I want you to acknowledge these things that maybe you want to work on. And just practice non-judgment, non-attachment. Use your breath as a tool to let them go and acknowledge that we're going to work on it. You know, we're going to work through it. But don't hold on to it. Don't let that thought come up and just like grasp onto it and hold on to it and resent it and feel guilty about it. Non-judgment, non-attachment. Curiosity. is a great way to look at it. Get curious. Why is this here? Why is the shadow self here? What caused this? Continuing to breathe here. Lengthening and deepening your inhales and exhales. Remembering our affirmations. I am manifesting my highest self. I'm in alignment with my highest self. I'm inviting in my highest self. And I still love myself while I'm transforming. I can still love myself and transform at the same time. And sealing those with the breath, so take a big inhale in through the nose, fill up the chest, fill up the belly. And open mouth, exhale. Now gently start to invite some movement into your body. Maybe you want to wiggle the fingers. Maybe wiggle the toes just a bit. Then gently you can release your legs from those blocks. Scoot those blocks out of the way. Keeping them nearby, but we're not going to use them right now. And just kind of windshield wipering your legs for a moment. And then I want you to bring your legs long. And I want you to grab that strap. And now we're going to work on some strap stretches here. So first things first, I want you to bend into that right knee, leaving the left leg straight. And then we're going to pull that knee into the chest. And now this strap is going to come around the bottom of your foot, kind of right in the arch of your foot. And you're going to straighten that leg to the sky. Now, what I want you to do here, and again, you can use a towel or a blanket to do this as well. And what I want you to do here is not pull too hard. This is our first movement of class. You know, you're not going to be super warm here. I just want you to just gently pull. You can also keep a micro bend in the knee. And so you just feel that pull in the back of your hamstring, the back of your leg. And just breathe here. We're not forcing anything. Again, you know, with our shadow self, you can't just force yourself to be like, oh, no, it doesn't exist. You can't just run away from it. We have to take it slow. We have to get to know what's going on in there. We have to dig deep, right? And so we're going to be doing through this class. We're going to see how much different we feel at the end of class when we've worked through it, how much different these stretches feel. So notice how it feels here. It's super tight. You know, maybe not go very far. That's totally okay. Now I want you to inhale here. Exhale, dropping that right leg open to the side. So now we're opening the hip and the hamstring. So opening that leg out to the side. I'm going to scoot a little bit because I'm kind of hitting a wall here. And again, keeping a micro bend to your knee if you need it and not pulling too hard. You're kind of pulling it up towards your head, gently. And seeing how it feels now with the hip open. Still feeling that pull in your hamstring. Breathing here. Now take an inhale here and exhale. We're going to draw this now across the body. Now note that we're not taking a full twist. So I'm not letting that right hip lift up off the mat. I'm just barely bringing that right leg across the body. Now it might not go very far. Mine barely crosses over. And feeling this on the outside of that right hip. That IT band. I'm just breathing here. And inhale here, exhale, release back to center. And then you can lower that leg, release the strap from around your foot, and extend that right leg out. Now we'll take it to the left side. So right leg extends, left knee bends, pulling it in, wrapping that strap or towel or blanket around the arch of that left foot. And again, just straightening it to the sky. A very gentle pull here. Now you might notice that one leg is maybe a little bit more flexible than the other, and that's okay too. We're just human. We're not supposed to be symmetrical. Remembering not to force it. Just noting how it feels here. And we inhale here, exhale, drop that leg open to the left. Now opening the hip. Again, trying to encourage this leg up towards the head. Again, do not pull too hard. Finding your edge. Breathing now into that open hip and your hamstring. And inhale here and exhale, draw it through center. Again, we're not taking a twist. This left hip should not be lifting up off the mat. Just barely pulling it over so your whole body doesn't go with it. Feeling that pull in the outer hip. And inhale here. Exhale, come to center. And go ahead and bend the knee, release that strap. Just let that strap kind of hang out at the side of your mat. Now bending both the knees, drawing knees into your chest. You're just going to drop over gently to one side, coming to a fetal pose, using your bottom arm as a pillow. Just take a second here. And then we're just going to gently press up to a seat, taking your time, moving slowly. And once you're up, you're going to transition to a tabletop. So again, I'm moving slowly, I'm taking my time. Coming to my tabletop. Now you can place a pillow or a blanket underneath your knees for some extra support under those knees. My shoulder, elbow, wrists are going to come all in line. My hips are stacked over my knees, and I'm going to gently find some movement here. So I want you to inhale, lift the chin, open up the chest, arching the back. Exhale, round. Dropping chin to chest, doming out the shoulders. Flowing through our cat-cow here, linking our breath to our movement. Inhaling as we open. And exhaling as we round. Now take 5 to 7 more of these on your own breath, at your own pace. Listening to your body, maybe you kind of want to rock from side to side. Now again, our sacral chakra is our chakra of sexuality, of creativity, of flow, of water. So maybe find just some flow here. Go with the flow. Do what feels good. Maybe take some full body circles. You know, put in some sensuality into it. It's all about that sacral chakra. Remembering to just even out your sides. And doing what feels good. Listening to your body. Connecting your breath to your movement, remembering your inhales and your exhales. Flow through one more here, even out your sides. Finish up this last one and come back to your neutral spine. Now, we're going to do some hip circles here. They might be a little funky. We're going to get deep into this sacral chakra. So I'm going to demo on this left leg so you can see me, but you're going to start with your right. So in my tabletop, I'm just kind of lifting my knee like I'm a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. And I want you to just draw a circle with your knee. Going forward, so I think if we're going forward, it's kind of going counterclockwise, just drawing a circle with your knee. You can make this a really big movement, or you can just make a little baby movement here. And now switch directions, so going forward, so clockwise. And again, either big circles or baby circles. And then just go ahead and release. I know it feels kind of funky, shake it out. And then we'll take it to the other side, so lifting again that bent right leg like a dog on a fire hydrant, and just drawing a circle forward with your knee. Again, you can make this as big or as small as you'd like. Getting into that hip joint. And switch directions. And go ahead and release. Kind of wiggle it out, shake it out. Our hips are going to be super open by the end of this. And now we're going to take some body circles over our wrists. So you're staying in this tabletop. What I want you to do is kind of lean over to the right. Draw your chest forward over the hands. Then lean over to the left. Then kind of dropping the hips back to the left, back almost into a child's pose, over to the right, and then forward again. So it's almost like you're drawing a big old circle with your chest. We're just taking these circles around our wrists, getting into kind of the side of those hips, our low back. And just taking your time here, exhaling as you drop it back, and inhaling as you come through center. And now this next time you're through center, take it in the opposite direction. So now dropping over to the right, then back, over to the left, and center. And breathing here. Tapping into this feeling of flow. Scorpio is a water sign. It's kind of the fieriest water sign, but it's still a water sign. And the next time you're back, we're going to just drop into a wide-legged child's pose. So I want you to bring your knees as wide as the mat. Sink your hips back to your heels. Extend the arms overhead. And drop the chest down. Now you can lay on a pillow, a bolster, or a blanket here. You can again keep that blanket or pillow underneath your knees for some extra support. And we're taking this wide-legged child's pose to honor our bellies, honor our thighs, and just make space. Now we're going to breathe here. I want you to inhale, fill up the chest, fill up the belly, no sucking in. Take up space. And exhale. Sink deeper into your child's pose. We'll spend a few breaths here. And again, I just want you to tap in. What's coming up for you? Is there already some emotions coming up? Why are they there? Get curious. Allow yourself to feel, but get curious as to the why. That's our shadow self trying to talk to us. Now take a big inhale in, gently rise through your table, and then exhale, you're just going to drop all the way to your belly. Taking your time. Coming down to your belly. Now your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. We're just going to do a little low cobra here. Just get a little bit of a heart opener. Palms underneath the shoulders. Inhale, press into them and lift up. For that low cobra, just lifting the head, the chest, the shoulders. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. Last one, inhale, lift up. And exhale, go ahead and release. Now I want you to bring your arms in front of you. You can kind of cross at the forearms. You can either rest your chin or your forehead on your arms. And we're going to do some half frog here. So I'm going to demo on the left leg. You're going to start on the right. Just so you can see me, I'm just going to bend my right knee and bring it out to the side. So it's a half frog here. My foot is coming out directly from my knee. And you can bend this knee however deeply it feels good. So if you just want to kind of bend it out to the side a little bit, that's fine. Don't go past your hip joint. So don't go past that 90-degree angle where your knee comes out from your hip and your foot comes out from your knee. I'm breathing into this right hip here. Nice deep inhales and exhales. And then inhale here and exhale, release that leg back to straight, taking it to the other side. So I'm just bending into that knee. Again, bending as much as comfortable for me and my body. Not going past that 90-degree point. And now breathing into this right hip. Does anybody else sleep like this? This is like my ideal sleeping position. Except with like my head turned to the side and like hugging a pillow, you know what I mean? That's great. Go ahead and inhale here and exhale. Release that right leg back to straight. Now gently bring your hands beneath your shoulders. I want you to inhale, press up to a table. Now I'm going to give you two options here. We're going to go for a full frog pose or a wide-legged child's pose. So if that half frog, you're like, oh, that already felt pretty intense, I want you to go for a wide-legged child's pose. Sink deep into those hips. If you're like, okay, my hips are feeling a little bit open, we're going to go for a frog pose. So you're going to bring your knees maybe even wider than the mat. Your feet are going to come directly out from your knees. And you can rest on blocks, on your hands, on your forearms. Come into your frog. Now again, taking a wide-legged child's pose, because this is a very intense hip opener. This is great if you're working on your middle splits. And just kind of sinking down. Keeping your hips in line with your knees, and your feet are coming out directly from the knees. So again, keeping this 90-degree angle. And breathing here. Don't forget your breath. It helps us in these intense postures. All right, now to come out of it, you're just going to kind of bring your feet inwards. And gently press up and release those knees. Shake it out. Woo! Again, those hips nice and open. Getting that sacral chakra moving. All right. Now we're going to find a downward facing dog. So I want you to press your hands into the mat. Tuck those toes and inhale those hips up and back. Finding this upside down V on your mat. Palms really pressing down into the mat. Remembering it's okay if your heels don't touch the ground. We're just pedaling out the feet here, finding some movement. Maybe shake those hips. Maybe if you'd like to take a three-legged dog with a hip opener on either side, if that's in your practice. Totally up to you. Just finding some movement. Maybe keeping the feet wider to honor the belly and the thighs. And then when you're ready, find stillness. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. And exhale, we're going to travel forward. So maybe taking lots of baby steps forward. Maybe taking a big old step forward into a forward fold. Now, keeping maybe your feet wider here. So again, make space for yourself. Hanging out in our forward fold. Ragdolling here. Maybe swaying from side to side. Maybe grabbing for opposite elbows. Just a little low back release, little hamstring release. And go ahead and find stillness. Bring those hands to your shins, press into them and inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come to standing. And exhale those hands to your heart. Take a moment here. Close your eyes if it feels good. Grounding ourselves in this Tadasana, this mountain pose. Maybe lifting up all 10 toes and then bringing them back down to the mat. It's important to ground ourselves in this Scorpio energy. It's pretty intense. You're going to probably feel, a lot of emotions, but we want to ground ourselves. We don't want to get too lost, too deep into that shadow self. We want to work through it. These grounding postures, grounding activities are kind of our tether to reality, right? All right. Take a big inhale in through the nose, felt the chest, felt the belly, take up space. And open mouth, exhale. Release. You can open your eyes if they were closed. Now we're going to flow through a sun salutation with a chair pose, just to warm up our hips a little bit before we start lunging it out. So For your chair, I want you to find the stance that works best for you. Now this can be feet hips distance or a little wider, or this can be big toes together to touch with a sliver of space in between your heels. Now, seeing what feels good. Maybe when you bring your big toes together, you're like, feels a little funky on my thighs. I'm going to keep my feet wide, listening to your body here. Finding that stance, then we're going to inhale our arms up. Exhale, sinking into our chair. So you're sitting your butt in an imaginary chair, bending at the knees. Make sure you're not arching your butt. You're kind of tucking the pelvis to keep a nice straight spine. Arms can stay extended. They can come to prayer, or you can even take airplane arms behind you, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, sink down into your chair, maybe a little bit lower this time. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. All right, my darlings. I want you to grab your blocks. Make sure they're in a place where you can grab them. I'm going to put them at the top of my mat. And we're going to flow through some hip opening postures here. Grab some water. Now I'm going to cue these poses from standing. You can take them from a vinyasa if that's in your practice. So, from standing, hands are at my hips. We're going to start with finding a warrior one on our right side. So I'm going to bring my right foot to the center of the mat. I'm going to step my left foot back, bending into my right knee. Left leg is straight. And I'm squaring off my torso, my hips as best I can to the front of the mat. I'm going to find my power stance here. It's okay, I feel solid. And then I'm going to inhale my arms up. Finding this warrior one, breathing here. Now this is a closed hip posture. We're still getting into the hips, but this is a closed hip. So I'm breathing here. I'm going to take a big inhale, and exhale, I'm going to open the hips, widen my stance a little bit more, still bending into that right knee, keeping it over my ankle. Make sure that's not going past my ankle. Finding my warrior two. So notice how my hips went from closed to open. Feeling my strength in this warrior two, gazing over my front fingers, making sure, my shoulders aren't shrugged up to my ears. Now I'm going to inhale, shift forward, and exhale, find my extended side angle. So this is where that block can come in. You can release that right hand down to a block. You can bring your forearm to that right thigh, take more of a lateral side stretch here, or you can bring arms to 12 and 6 o'clock. Whatever feels good for you and your body. Breathing here. Now inhale, use the core to rise. Exhale, flip the front palm and reverse your warrior. Make sure this knee stays bent. And stretching that front side body. Inhale, rise. And exhale, just step back to the top of your mat and shake it out. All right, let's take it to the other side. Hands at the hips, or again, flowing from a vinyasa. Left foot comes to center. Stepping my right foot back at about a 45-degree angle. Left foot's pointed forward, bending into that left knee. Finding my stance here. Squaring off my torso and my hips. Inhale, arms up. Breathing into this warrior one. Take a big inhale. Exhale, open up. So opening the hips, opening the stance a bit wider. Sinking back down with that knee over ankle. Finding my warrior two. Making sure those shoulders aren't shrugged up to my ears. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale, find whatever variation of extended side angle you found on the other side. Wherever you're at, you're breathing. I'm going to inhale, use my core to rise. Exhale, flip the front palm and reverse my warrior. Make sure my lunge is staying deep. Knees over ankle. Inhale, rise. And exhale, step back to the top of your mat. Shake it on out. All right. We'll take a little half sun salute just to loosen up a bit. Shake that out. And come to standing or Tadasana mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. All right. Now, we're going to add on to that flow just a bit, change it up. You're going to come to standing at the top of your mat or flowing through a vinyasa. Right foot comes to center. Stepping back to my warrior one. Finding my power stance here. Knee over ankle. Inhaling, arms up. Take a big inhale. Exhale, warrior two. So again, going from that closed hip to open hip. Gazing over my front fingers. Now I'm going to inhale to straighten the leg. Exhale, I'm kind of popping this left hip back, shifting forward, and now finding a triangle pose. Now again, using your block here as you need it. So you can rest that right hand on a block. You can rest it on that right shin. And both legs are straight here in this triangle. You can keep a micro bend to the knees. Maybe gazing up towards that top hand. And breathing here. Inhale, use the core to rise, and exhale, reverse your triangle. So left hand draws back the left leg, stretching out that front side body. Now we're going to inhale, center, and exhale, you're going to face the long edge of your mat. So I'm pointing both my feet towards the long edge of my mat, and we're going to take a wide-legged fold here. So I'm going to inhale my arms up, and exhale, fold over my legs. And we're going to do what feels right for us here. Maybe it's bending into one knee and the other. Maybe you just kind of want to shake out. You can always keep a micro bend in your knees. Just find the movement that feels good for you in your body here. Maybe reaching back behind you in between the legs. And we're going to bring our hands to our hips, bend into the knees. Inhale, use the core to rise. We'll take a little goddess pose here. Just tapping into that goddess energy. So I want you to inhale, come to star. So feet are at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, arms come up for your star pose. Exhale, sink to your goddess for a moment. So bending into the knees as much as feels comfortable. Feeling this power here, you are powerful. And inhale for star, and exhale, release the hands. Now we're going to shift it to the opposite direction and do the same flow that we just did. So bring your block with you if you need it. So I'm shifting this way for my warrior one. So now facing the back of my mat, I'm bending into my knee. My back foot's at a 45-degree angle, and squaring off my hips and my torso. Finding my warrior one. Breathing here. Take a big inhale. Exhale, opening up for my warrior two. And breathing. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, kind of kicking that hip out. Shifting forward into my triangle. Again, using my block if I need it. Remembering to keep a micro bend in that knee if you need that. Inhale, use the core to rise. Exhale, reverse your triangle. And inhale, come to center. Exhale, you can kind of just release to standing, shake it out. All right. See how open your hips feel? I don't know about you guys, mine feel open. I'm gonna come back to stand at the top of my mat and take a drink of water. All right. And we're gonna make our way down to our mats. So just inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Just gently plant the hands and just very gently just kind of step back to come down to your mat. You can flow through a vinyasa if you'd like, or you can just step back gently. And we're gonna come to our knees. So if you need that pillow or blanket underneath your knees, make sure to honor that. Grab your blocks. All right, so now we're gonna go for some low lunges, a little bit of pigeon. We're getting deep into these hips, my friends. So I'm gonna come to stand on my knees. Knees are about hip distance apart. Again, pillow or blanket underneath my knees. I'm gonna step this right leg forward into my low lunge. My blocks or my hands are coming to frame that front foot. My knee is over my ankle. And I'm feeling this in that left hip flexor. Now breathing here. Option to stay here. Option to lift your hands to your right thigh. Option to inhale your arms up. I kind of like to place my hands right on my hips and just gently press and open up the heart. Again, doing the variation that speaks to you and works for you and your body. And this low lunge. Inhaling here, exhale, release the hands back to blocks or to the mat and straighten that front leg. I'm coming to my half splits, so my front leg is straight. My right toes are pointing, flexing back to my face. And I'm trying to keep my chest lifted here. I'm not slouching over, staying lifted. Getting into that hamstring. Now inhale back to your low lunge. And now you're gonna bring both hands to the inside of that right foot. You're gonna scoot your right foot open and up just a bit. And we're coming to a lizard pose here. So you're gonna open that right foot to the outer edge. So you're kind of coming to the side of that foot. So your foot bottom is now off the mat. If it feels good, take it step by step here. Lizard pose is a little bit of an intense one. So I'm still staying in kind of this low lunge position, opening my foot and my hip. Now option to stay here lifted on your blocks or on your hands. Option to kind of drop down. Again, take it slow. You don't want to go too deep too fast. So I'm coming to my lizard pose here. And I'm going to breathe into that right hip. I'm going to know my edge. And get deep into this hip. Don't forget your breath. And then gently release, coming back to your hands or your blocks, releasing that foot down. And now I'm going to scoot this right foot all the way through center and then over to the left because I'm going to find my pigeon. So my shin's coming parallel with the front edge of the mat. I'm dropping that leg down. Left leg is still extended behind me. Now, you can take one of these blocks and place it underneath that right hip if your hip is really lifted up off the ground. So a supported pigeon here. You can also use a bolster or a pillow. Now finding this pigeon, I'm going to inhale to find a little back bend here, and then exhale, I'm going to fold over my pigeon. Now you can stay on your hands. You can come to a block, or you can lower all the way down again, listening to your body, finding your edge, remembering that your edge is going to be different than everyone else's. Now breathing into this pigeon. I know pigeon is an intense one. This is where everything likes to come out. So allow yourself to feel, give yourself a safe place to feel here. Give yourself permission to feel. And just remember your breath. Remember, you are coming into your highest self. You can love yourself while you're transforming. You can love yourself while you're working through these things, while you're working through the shadow self. Gently come back to your hands or to your blocks. Press your palms into them. Tuck those back toes. And just pressing into the hands, scoot that right knee back. Taking it slow, coming to the knees. And then you're just kind of rock the hips from side to side. We still got a whole nother side, my friends. I know. All right, so coming to stand on your knees again. Pillow or blanket underneath the knees for extra support. Blocks at the ready. Stepping my left knee out. My left leg out, coming to my low lunge on my left side. Knees over ankle. Again, hands or blocks are squaring the foot on either side. And then finding the low lunge that works for me. Wherever it feels good, I'm breathing. I'm going to take a big inhale here. Exhale, release the hands down to the blocks or to my mat. Straighten that leg, that left leg. Get into that hamstring, flexing those left toes back towards my face. Trying to stay lifted here. Inhale back to my low lunge. Then exhale, finding my lizard. So walking this left foot out to the side, both hands come to the inside of that left foot. Opening it to the side of that left foot. And finding my lizard. So does it feel good right here? Do I want to lower down a little bit? Again, taking my time. And breathing wherever my edge is. It's a love-hate relationship with these hip openers, my friends. All right, gently bring your hands back to your blocks or to your mat. Lift up, and now scoot that foot all the way over to the right so your shin comes parallel with the front edge of the mat. Lower down into this pigeon. Now again, using this block or a pillow or a bolster to support you if your hip is raised. Inhale, just for a little back bend, and exhale, fold over in this sleeping pigeon. And allow yourself to breathe here. And allow things to come up. Don't push them down. Don't push that shadow self down. The more you push it down, the harder it's going to fight to come back up. There's this book called Hello Fears. It's one of my favorite books. And something she says in that book is most of the time when our fears come up, we run away, right? Our fears, our shadow self, our limiting beliefs come up and we want to run away from them. But if you turn around and look at those fears, they hate it when you do that. That's where the work and the magic happens. That's where the transformation happens, is when you turn around and you look at whatever that shadow self is, whatever that fear is, and be like, hey, like what's going on here? Can I help you? So that's what we got to do. Inhale, come back to your palms, either on the blocks or on your mat. Press into them, tuck those back toes, and just slide that left foot back. Don't mind my knees popping. I'm almost 30, you know. All right, my darlings. I promise the hard part's over. We're going to come to a seat on our butt. Grab yourself some water. All right. Lower down to your back. And make sure you have your strap and your blocks with you. Taking your time here. All right. So remember when I said at the beginning of class, we're going to revisit those strap stretches and see how much of a transformation we made. Acknowledging the work that we did. And remembering that even if it's the tiniest little bit of difference, that it counts. Even if you're like, I can barely feel it, I don't even know if anything happened, I promise you it did. So we're extending our legs long, bending our right knee into our chest, wrapping that strap around the arch of that right foot, and now pulling that leg in. Now you might be able to pull a little deeper here since we are warm, but again, know your edge. As soon as you feel that pull, I want you to stop. Now notice, how does it feel now? How does it feel? Is it a little bit more open? Can you bring your leg a little bit closer to your head? Breathing here. And inhaling here, exhale, dropping that leg open to the right. And now I can pretty much reach my right foot with my hand, which I was not able to do at the beginning of class. So acknowledging that just, I don't know, how long was this class? 45 minutes, an hour? It can make such a big difference. If you're working on that shadow self, journal, meditate, do some yoga, do some inner child healing. That's usually where that shadow self came from. Just a little bit of work can go so long, such a long way. Manifest, usher in that new self, that transformation. Inhale, bring it through center, and exhale again, crossing the body here. Now again, we're not taking a twist. That right hip should not lift up off the mat. And this one, I can kind of barely see the difference, but I know that there's a difference there. And inhale here and exhale, release, taking it to the other side. So extending that right leg long, bending our left knee in, wrapping that strap around, and pulling that leg up. Again, you can keep a micro bend if you need it. And again, now on this side, I can reach my foot with my hand. And again, it doesn't matter if you can reach your foot with your hand, but I'm just like, wow, that's pretty cool. Inhaling here, exhale, opening up that hip now, dropping that leg open to the side. Inhaling here and exhale, dropping it or shifting it over through center. Again, not taking a twist. Just barely bringing that leg over the center line. Don't forget your breath wherever you are. And just acknowledge how far you've come. Whether it's here in your yoga practice, whether it's in your personal life, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. Just take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come. Inhale here and exhale, release. All right, my darlings. Get that strap out of the way. We'll just take a few more twists here for some release. And then we'll find our savasana. So bringing your arms out to a T position. Extending legs long. I want you to bend that right knee in. Inhale, center, and exhale. You can use this left hand to kind of draw that right knee over to the side. Again, arms are at a T position. Maybe gazing over that right shoulder. And breathing into this twist. Releasing any maybe little bits of shadow self or little bits of trauma that we've processed through so we can manifest this new transformation, this new us, this highest. I like the term favorite self because highest self, I think sometimes we put on a mask of like what we think our highest self is supposed to be. But your favorite self is your favorite self. It's the self that you love the most, not what society or you know, whatever is, we're conditioned to, like, I want to be that because society told me so. No, I want you to be your favorite highest self, your highest self, not what a highest self is supposed to be, right? Inhale, come center. Exhale, releasing that right leg down. Now bending into the left knee. Draw it into your chest. Inhale here. And exhale. Draw that left leg over to the right. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder now. Breathing here, using your breath as a tool for release. And go ahead and inhale, gently come center. And exhale, release. Now take any final pose here that your body's asking for. Maybe happy baby or an inversion. More twists, reclined pigeon. I'm just going to kind of windshield wiper my legs here. We've done a lot of hip opening today, my friends. So do what feels good. And when you're ready, again, take your time if you're still moving. Finding our savasana. Now I'm going to take a Supta Baddha Konasana like we started class. So I'm bringing my feet together to touch. Opening up the knees, and I'm just going to kind of let them fall this time without the blocks, but of course use the blocks if you need them. You can take a full corpse pose, just extend arms and legs on the mat. You can take legs up the wall. Any savasana that your body is asking for, I want you to go there. You can close your eyes if it's comfortable, and I just want you to breathe. I want you to again, allow a safe space for your emotions, allow a safe space for your shadow self to come through and ask, what do I need to work on? What are some intentions I can set around working through this shadow self? A new moon is all about setting intentions, manifestation, manifesting new things in, shedding the old, bringing in the new. Tapping into that Scorpio energy of death and rebirth. Just breathe here and I'll let you know when it's time to come back. And gently bring your awareness back into your space and back into your body. Maybe start to wiggle the toes or wiggle the fingers. Maybe roll out your wrists or roll out your ankles. And gently make these movements bigger until you're ready to draw those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. And go ahead and release to one side, finding your fetal pose, using the bottom arm as a pillow. And gently, when you're ready, pressing up to a seat. Any seat that you are comfortable in. Taking your time to get there. Keeping those eyes closed. If it's comfortable, bring your hands to either side of you, feeling the mat beneath your fingertips. Inhale, arms come up, taking all that wonderful energy we just created. Exhale, bring them back down, releasing anything that doesn't serve you. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, draws those palms together to touch. Bring them to your heart center. The love, the light, and the shadow self in me honors the love, the light, and the shadow self in you. We bow to our practice. Thank you. That is all I have for you lovelies today. I hope you have a wonderful new moon. Again, there is no tarot reading because I'm prepping and about to leave for my retreat in Sedona, which I'm super excited about. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very excited, very, very excited. If you'd like to maybe see me host a retreat open to the public, let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Again, this one is just for my personal group coaching program clients who I've worked with for a very long time. A little bit of a test run, but it's going to be amazing. You know, it's not spared no expense, as John Hammond would say in Jurassic Park. It's going to be awesome in Sedona. I'll be posting pictures and videos on my TikTok, Instagram. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on those platforms. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. So I hope you have a wonderful new moon, and I'll see you next time.